everyone. Today, the comments are all going to come from you to us. And it's viewers' comments. It's a pre-Thanksgiving special presentation today, all dedicated to you. So stay tuned. I'm going to wing that turkey, or I'm going to wing some pink unicorns. I don't know. Let's just wing it. Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to PWD Allies podcast. My name is Brent Frain. I'm the host and broadcasting to you from Victoria, British Columbia, the capital region. And it's kind of a gloomy start of the morning, kind of overcast. It was raining earlier. Sun's trying to peek through, so it's going to brighten the day in many ways. And joining me is Neil Matheson, my producer from Surrey, British Columbia. Hi, Neil. Good morning.
Morning.
And so I want to just dedicate today's show to you, the audience. Send in your comments. And today's entire show is actually all dedicated to you. We're going to wing it like a Thanksgiving turkey, or like I said in the pre-broadcast here, I'm going to wing some pink unicorns around. I don't see any politicians around, so I can't really wing them at them. But but they're all here. They're kind of sitting one behind me, and pink unicorns are not real, everyone. I'm just having some fun, but they're make-believe policies that they don't exist. They're not supposed to exist. So, but anyway, today's comments are going to come from you. I want to hear what your feedback of how you see how the show's going. What do you want to see happen? Do you like?
So we're basically just going to take comments live on air, and right now we have Marion Wales is in chat.
Yeah.
So, Marion, if you have a comment or question for us, you can go ahead and shoot. I'm just going to be looking at the comments the whole show.
Sure.
And one thing I can start with is, we post our podcasts all the time to BC Disability Caucus. It's a very popular Facebook page, and I used to be pretty heavily involved in it. I still post stuff. I've written articles for them and things like that. But anyway, so I post the link to there all the time. And this time I posted the link early to see, like before the show aired, to see if there's any comments from anyone. And so a couple of the first comments that I have, let me just pull it up here. One was from James Schultz, and he says, ask BC Minister of Poverty Reduction Sheila Malcolmson to deliver results or step down and resign. So that's his comment. And the second comment is from JC Wong, and it's very similar. It's what you always talk about, Brent. It's like raising the rates and making things affordable. But JC Wong's comment is, how is BC addressing the rising rent and people with disabilities on PWD don't have enough money to cover rent, and the BC housing is a mess. So even those first two comments, again, you could almost devote a whole show to that. But
I could probably just quickly just to summarize those two scenarios. I could probably blend it all into one. Now, as we all know, we are in a housing crisis, right? It's orchestrated, right? It's orchestrated by politicians from every level, pointing fingers. Property taxes are way too high. When I say it's orchestrated, I mean prices of housing does not need to be as high as it is. Property taxes are high in every single community, and they keep going up. When it goes up, guess what happens? Rent goes up. It gets passed down to the consumer, and at the end consumer pays more. So when the unit is vacant, if you live in I don't know if you're renting a condominium, a townhouse, basement suites. In some cases, I mean, rent can be a little bit more controlled in basement suites because it really comes down to the owner itself if they want to raise your rents. But if you live in an apartment building, usually your rent goes up every year. However, when you live in an apartment building, if your unit is vacant, okay, if it's vacant, a lot of the property management companies, they can make that as a very variable, whatever the market will bear. They can actually put the rent up accordingly to what the demand is. So supply upon demand. Now, when it kind of streams back about the rates, again, the rates have not been kept up for the word shelter. In my view, in BC, and I really hope that a lot of other provinces that have that word shelter in it abolish that,
Yeah.
because shelter is so early 1980s kind of a way of thinking.
Yeah.
Why I know that is I used to have discussions, and I won't get into too
Well, we're
much.
not dogs, right?
Yeah,
Right, Brent? We're not
yeah.
dogs.
And I used to get into this discussion with my late mom, and my mother and my late mother, having discussions because they lived through that era,
Hmm.
where rents at the time were so much lower, and they used to talk to me about the 30% rent geared to income scenario. I didn't know much about it. I mean, I'll admit, I
Yeah.
way back when I didn't know anything about how did that work. Well, my mom said, well, one third of your income should be paid to rent, and the rest to bills and food, and just enjoy life, right? I mean, save
Hmm.
up to go on a holiday somewhere if you want, or whatever you want to do, buy a bike,
Yeah.
or whatever. So that mentality level, the way of thinking was great. I mean, because that model worked great then.
Hmm.
Now most people can't even do that. They can't pay have 30% of their income. A lot of their incomes are 50% or greater. That
Yeah.
goes I mean, I can
Like
vouch.
close to 100% sometimes.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And rent and the shelter portion has not kept up with it. So when
Yeah.
I've read posts where it's 1980s rates. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
These shelter portion rates are not even geared to rent. You can't even rent a whole place on a whole PWD check. So there's a call for the government to modernize the rates on the shelter, like get rid of the word shelter out of it altogether. Because when you get your check goes to rent and it goes to bills, maybe some food.
Yeah.
Then there's the food bank issue. In my view, food banks should be always a last resort. It shouldn't be a
Exactly.
primary reason to go to food
Well,
banks because
well,
you've got
and
insecurity.
the thing I always say about food banks and the whole uh, the whole social assistance system to begin with, whether it's in BC or anywhere in Canada, it's
Yeah,
set up now like a charity.
yeah.
It's like government has no obligation to support the most vulnerable anymore. It's like, well, we'll be charitable and we'll give you this much,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
it's just like you can't do that. I just wanted to follow up on Mariana again because
Sure.
she's giving a couple of good comments here. She says she's from Waterloo, Ontario. She says, I love your show. I'm on PWD, she says. And she says we should all care about PWD all across Canada, not just BC. And of course,
Absolutely.
we agree with that. And like you and I are in BC, but we post the show everywhere, and we invite guests from everywhere. So
Hmm.
we talk about BC because that's what we know. But we also talk about Ontario if we have Ontario guests on, or
Yeah.
anywhere across Canada. Like even we've had the Maritime represented, and all that. So
Hmm.
yeah, all across Canada, of course.
Yeah. When we mentioned like thanks for tuning in from Waterloo and
Mhm.
everywhere else people are tuning in from, and keep sending in your comments. But I'm just going to focus on Waterloo just for a moment there, regarding the rates in Ontario. Now, I'm not a pro when it comes to all the jurisdictions of like legislation of what PWD get on ODSP or OW. Like there's OW and ODSP in Ontario. Um, I mean, ODSP. I know that the shelter they call it, and then there's the support. Same as BC, they have their PWD support, and then they got the shelter, right?
Mhm.
It's almost equivalent, I think, in so many ways. I mean, when I think
I think the shelter is $600. Is it? Marion can correct us, but I believe the
Yeah,
shelter is set at $600 in Ontario.
yeah, and I
Maybe
think
Marion can correct us if that's
yeah,
correct or not.
because I think the base rate had just gone up to 14. Was it 1406 or 1408? Um, now, and I'm keeping a very close eye on this, and maybe if you can clarify that with me, Marianne. Um, but that rate in Ontario is creeping up not far from behind BC. I'm watching
Mm-hmm.
it very closely because BC's right now is 1483 total, 1483.50 total,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Including the shelter and support. Now, Ontario's is now creeping up. And the reason why is, of course, the rates are tied to the
Oh,
cost of living.
she says sorry. She says it's $500 shelter. I thought it was six, but she says it's
Okay.
500. So it's the same here. It's the same
Okay,
in
so
BC.
their rates are now creeping up, whether it's
Yeah.
tied to, I guess, inflation or cost of living. I mean, it's an indexed. But
Mm-hmm.
in Ontario, they didn't give a rate increase on top of that, which they should have. They should have given an increase and tied the rate to inflation. In BC, they didn't even give it a rate increase in
Mm-hmm.
4 years, and they didn't even tie it to inflation. So what's happening here is that Ontario's catching up to BC very quickly, and if they
Mm-hmm.
keep that trend, it's going to be equivalent or more than what BC gets. BC is going to go down this way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's I think equality, in my view, I think equality across the board. Give the people with disabilities a standard, and then when you have disabilities, give them that bump up because your
Yeah.
cost of living for having a disability increases more than a person who doesn't have a disability, and treat them with government needs to start treating people with dignity and respect across our beautiful country. It can be changed. It's just a political will, really,
Yeah.
is what it comes down to. And I talk a lot about that in the show all the time. But today's show is all about you guys,
There's
everybody.
another comment from Marion, and she says, "I live on 950 a month as a single person." Now, I'm assuming that 950. She's
That'd be the
saying
support.
that's the living portion. So is
That'd
it
be the
nine?
support.
Is it 950 support and then $500 shelter?
Yeah,
Because that would be almost identical to what it is in
yeah,
BC
yeah. It
now.
would be. It
Now.
would be. Because
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, because BC's 983.50 for
yeah.
support.
So we're only $38 ahead of you or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's really low. It's really low.
That's catching up, like I say, on that
Hmm.
one's catching up, and of course Alberta is its own jurisdiction when it comes to their rates. I
Oh, she
don't.
says 950 total.
Oh, oh,
950 total. Wow.
oh, wow,
So
wow.
so I'm just asking a clarifying question then, Marion. So you have $500 for rent and only $450 left for everything else.
Is that
Is
like a clawback or something, or?
is is she getting a club? Are you getting a clawback, or is this OW? Because you just said that you're on PWD, or that you were PWD. Sorry. So I was assuming you're on ODSP, but maybe Marion's on OW or something.
Yeah, because normally it should be the support plus the 500, so
Yeah.
it'd be
So
like
she
four.
says yes. So it's 950 total. So so you're
Hmm.
on OW, I guess. She must be on OW because that would
Yeah,
OW is low. OW is
I
about
mean
that.
probably a person with disabilities, but on OW waiting to get on to
Oh, she
ODSP
says she's
maybe.
on ODSP, but it's still
Oh,
950. She says.
oh,
I don't know. I don't know. That seems really low, though.
yeah.
Wow, that's shocking.
Yes. Yeah, it is very shocking.
Yeah,
I mean, it's already difficult, extremely
not
difficult.
just shocking, disgusting. Actually,
Yeah, I mean, it's already
I
difficult to
didn't
get
know it
by.
was that. I didn't know it was bad. So yeah, she clarifies it's
Wow,
ODSP, and she says there's no clawback, but she's getting 950 total.
wow, that is totally
Wow,
disgusting. Nobody can live by the rates that they are now. I mean, but 950 total. Wow.
wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
I mean, are you not getting your shelter portion? I'm just wondering, Marianne.
Well, from what she's saying that there's the 950, or sorry, includes 950 includes the 500 shelter, so she's got $450 left over for. But it seems very low though.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Are
Wow.
you living? Are you paying market rent or are you like subsidized housing? Are you in like yeah? Just wondering on that.
Yeah. we're making the whole show about Marion, but
Yeah.
but
And,
I am surprised though. I thought. Oh, she says my rent is 680, so even less, and 3 of my meds aren't covered anymore.
oh dear. Oh,
Wow, that's
oh,
that's unbelievable.
oh,
Like
I'm
that's like we're talking criminal here.
yeah.
Oh, she says she lives in a co-op.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but still, I mean, you're devoting almost $700 in rent.
That the co-op has, yeah, that's even more than
That
the co-op. That's
that
even more,
means you only have $250 left over for everything else. That's
and that's more than what
really
the
disgusting.
shelter rate is too. I mean, that's more than what. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
wow.
Wow. Hmm.
Because yeah, because normally like a co-op housing or any kind of subsidized housing, usually it should be like 30% of the income, right? And I've
Yeah.
heard that story too, where
Yeah.
like subsidized housing in BC, we have the same issue happening where some of the rents are actually even higher, even in subsidized housing and co-op
Yeah.
housing. Some of the rents are higher than what the government will give for the maximum shelter allowance.
Well,
I know
that's just. I
my
mean,
neighbor
that's just it too, Brent. I mean,
is
the government
and
has these definitions, and they
of
always just change the goalposts. I
course,
mean, that's what they did with the Canada Disability Benefit, didn't they? They
yeah.
changed the goalposts. Like, let's make this transformative. Let's make this life changing. Amount for all people with disabilities, and then changed the goalposts. They changed the definition. So they just love changing the definition. Like you said, RGI used to be rent guaranteed income, and
Yeah.
it was a set limit of 30%. Like,
Mhm.
no ifs, ands, or buts. It was 30%. That was
Mhm.
it. That was the hard target. And now they just change things on the fly. It's like, let's move the goalpost over here. Let's move the goalpost over here. Let's move the goalpost over here. And that's why I don't like pink unicorns. I talk about pink unicorns all the time. Is because that's the classic example of changing the goalposts. You know?
Yeah, like that 30% income, a lot of the governments are basing on household income, and it should be based on the individual. The
Yeah.
individual has the disability, not the whole household has the disability. And that's, I mean, there could be people in
Yeah.
your household that have disabilities, and that's fine. But should be based on each individual person in the household who has a disability, not, I mean, one person and all of a sudden, oh, everybody else in the household
Yeah.
has a disability. And that's why the CDB, the Canada Disability Benefit, it was originally planned to have it as individual, and then the
Yeah.
federal government changed it
Yeah.
so that it's all based on the household. Now in BC, they ran our premier in BC, Marianne, and everybody else watching, ran with it in their platform. So the BC NDP, they ran with the CDB in their
And it's
platform.
a federal program, and they're
Yeah,
and they're
federal
like
program.
taking credit for it almost. Like,
Yeah, and they
we're
were
gonna
running
give
with it
this
saying
no
we're not going to raise.
clawback on the CDB.
Yeah, we're not going to raise the rates because we're waiting in BC because we're waiting on the CDB because the federal government's going to make
Yeah.
sure that they lift people out of legislative poverty in
Yeah.
BC, and of course other provinces would follow their own stuff.
Yeah.
I've never in my life seen a government run in their platform with a CDB, a reason why not to
Yeah.
raise the rates, knowing damn well that most people are not going to qualify for the CDB and all
Yeah.
all the red tape involved with it. So again, just keep on sending in your comments, everyone.
I just can't believe that, again. Like,
Keep them
BC is
out.
basically pumping the tires
Yeah,
on a federal program and
hmm,
taking credit for it and saying it's going to be great.
yeah,
And everybody knew, like, 2 years, like, everybody in the disability community knew, like, 2 years ahead of time, that it was probably going to be a bust.
I actually
And, you know,
asked
and for some reason, our provincial governments are stupid. Like, I tell you, like, if you want to change the world, if you want to change government, like bring more people with disabilities on government, because we know what's going on.
yeah.
Like,
I asked one
we
of the
all knew it was going to be a train
couple
wreck.
of years. Yeah, I asked one of the staffers a couple of years ago when I heard that they were planning on, waiting on the CDB to see what was, was going to be amazing. It was going to change people's lives for the better. And one of my questions, I remember asking one of the staffers, and yeah, we were talking quietly in the legislature in the hallway. And of course, he goes, careful, because, the walls have ears. Well, that's fine. I mean, have ears. I mean, what I'm saying is that is nothing new. I mean, it's going to be very awesome, right? If they come through with this CDB and it's going to change people's lives for the better. I said, but my question was, what happens if that the federal government does not come through with, even though they promised, they don't come through with it?
Yeah.
Is BC not going to raise the rates? Well, we can't right now. The budget came out, but next year. I said, so in the interim, are you going to raise the rates in case the CDB doesn't mature and come to fruition? Well, we'll have to see what next year brings. Well, as I know, as fast forward back then, if I had the time machine, the next year there was nothing in the budget for PWD. They were waiting on the federal government.
Yeah.
And the staffer had said, well, I talked to Kamel, right?
Oh,
And
Kamal Kara, yeah.
and I went, really? Yeah, I just got off the phone with her, and she wouldn't give me, he said, she wouldn't give me the dollar amount. And I said, okay, so she won't tell you how much? Okay, well, right there, that's a big red flag for me, like a big question mark going, okay, there's a problem here. So I said, in me, I like to be proactive. I like to problem solve things and perceive that, okay, what if something happens? Have a backup plan. Okay, so that doesn't happen, raise the rates. So you can't count on that something that's going to maybe happen. You have to know for sure it's going to happen, right? And
I don't know if Mary Jean, our MJ. We have two MJs, but
yes,
Mary Jean sent me a video, and it was the Minister of Environment stood up in in the House of Commons and was talking about the CDB.
Oh, yes.
So you have a Minister of Environment.
Wow.
That was because now they don't even have any kind of Minister of Disability. So it's just like
Minister of Environment,
just some random dude now. Just any random dude can just stand up and say, "I'm Minister of Environment. I can talk about the CDB now."
Yeah.
What? I mean, this is just stupid. Like what? It just shows you how bananas it is, right?
That's like having the Minister of Transportation talking about people with disabilities. And
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Like, the whole thing has gone so bad. Like again,
I think a 2-year-old could write.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot better.
I was hopeful originally when it was first announced, but I was a bit pessimistic, I have to say, and I think everybody was. But I mean,
optimistic myself.
But I mean, everybody in the disability community knew it was going to be a mess. And like, when Carla Qualtrough was minister, it was kind of a legitimate thing. Like, you felt like, okay, this is a qualified person, that she's a person with a disability. She's going to take it across the finish line. It's going to be good. Like you really thought, okay, this is in good hands. Like, you knew she was getting pushed back, and people were throwing darts at her and stuff like that. And I get it, like, because people are angry because we get ignored and stuff like that. But I sincerely believe that she was the right person to take it across the finish line, and then she gets turfed because it's like, well, no, Carla, stop doing your job. Stop trying to make it a transformative thing that's going to lift everybody out of poverty. So see you later, bye. And then you get this Kamal Kara coming on, and who was she? She was like a nobody.
And, well, the part that really bothered
and now you have somebody that's a Minister of Environment standing up and talking about the CD. I mean, it's just so stupid.
Yeah. But the part that bothered me the most about the CDB, like after when it started getting all regurgitated, well, that's a funny word I'll use there. That's like unicorns and regurgitate pink unicorns. Everyone, imagine that. Wow. Yeah, you're going to get a whole bunch of them, and while they are there,
maybe you can have that for Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, wing them around. But with the with all the regulations that were actually were approved by different MPs that had came forward, Mike Morris actually had some of his ideas that were actually presented, and they approved them. They said, yeah, great, that's a great idea. And one of them really stood out for the CDB was making it automatic, making it automatically go to every person on provincial, territorial,
Yeah.
or federal benefits. And because the finance ministers in each province have your information, they know what you get. So it would have been so easy for them to communicate and send right away to the finance minister or to the Treasury Department. Yes, Treasury Department, which then goes to the finance minister. Everyone, that's how that works. Even if they really wanted to, CRA could have really, or Service Canada, really, they could have
CRA
actually,
knows everything too. I
yeah,
mean,
they know all that stuff.
already. So it's just like to
Yeah,
make this whole dog and
they,
pony show where you have to apply again.
yeah, which is, it costs
It's just
hundreds
like,
and hundreds of dollars.
yeah,
And for what?
yeah.
And when there was millions of dollars actually that the federal government had put into a pool to cover all those costs for the DTC
Mhm.
also. Where is the money? Like,
Yeah,
why is it not put in? I
yeah.
mean, even then they didn't even need to do that. They could have just sent it out to all the provinces automatically.
Mhm.
It's not hard to do that.
You really
I
wonder how much of the money gets eaten up in just
um,
administrative stuff.
Well, I
You
think they
know,
do that deliberately so that they can actually make jobs for other
yeah,
other administration people just
yeah.
to kind of watch this and say, "Oh, wow, this is great." Yeah, meanwhile, you're playing with people's lives. So there's more
Yeah.
comments coming in, Neil.
No, this is just the. It says there's a few people in the chat, but right
Oh,
now it's only Marion that's made herself available. Everybody else is
oh,
being.
being very quiet.
Yeah,
Well, ask your questions, everyone. I mean,
yeah,
or
yeah.
yeah, I mean, don't
But
be shy.
yeah, come a little closer. Don't
Yeah, I
be
mean,
shy.
here's your, opportunity just asking, like, how, I don't know. I mean, how did the show become to be, or what would you like to see?
Yeah.
What are your ideas about, like, how would you like to see the rates? Do you like how the shelter is divided into like one segment and support is another segment?
You know,
It's,
one thing we can say, Brent. I mean, again, it's going to be Thanksgiving Monday on Monday.
Mhm.
Novel concept, right? Thanksgiving Monday on Monday.
Monday.
Um, but we have to say, of course, that a lot of people on disability will not be celebrating
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, or well, at least I'll say like will not be having any kind of turkey dinner or anything like that because fact of the matter is like we can't afford it. Like I won't be having a turkey.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, one of the reasons I won't be having it is because my wife works all the time, and so we'll
Such.
probably just order something in from maybe skip the dishes or something. But I mean, even that
Yeah.
is a big splurge. Like even to do that is a big splurge. But I mean, to buy even a small turkey or a small chicken or even
Oh, I know. It's
like
expensive.
you're asking. Remember how you'd go into Save On or Real Canadian Superstore, and,
Hmm.
and you'd go in there and they have basically the chickens would be on for as a lost leader.
Yeah.
You could get a chicken for like $5, like a whole chicken for five
Oh, yeah.
bucks. I mean, what is it now? It's like
Oh, it's just
I
great
don't
for
e-
the.
I forgot what it is. It's like $16 now or something stupid.
It's
And
yeah, it's
the chicken seems like it's gotten smaller. Like
they have
they used to be like
uh,
this, and they're like shrinking like this
yeah,
now.
shrinkflation,
Oh,
right?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what they're doing. They're giving them hormones to like shrink them now or something. I don't know what it is.
yeah. Having little mini versions of the
Yeah,
chicken running around. Imagine having little mini versions of me running around.
yeah. I mean, you talk about shrinkflation for the packaging, but they're even doing that with live animals now. It seems like everything's smaller now. I don't know what's happening to our chickens, but they're like so
Yeah,
small. Yeah.
yeah. It seems like everything you buy, like even the coffee cans. They used to be 920 grams. Now I noticed that they're like 875, 885 gram size now for
Hmm.
them. Yeah, I mean, not a lot of difference, but the price has gone up. The
Yeah.
price has definitely gone up. I mean, that's just for coffee, but I mean, cereal, you name it, any household goods, the cost of everything goes up. But of course,
Hmm.
PWD rates are not going up.
Yeah.
They're not keeping up with the cost of living. Things always go up. They never
So
come back down.
you have to decide. do I want to eat or do I need to pay rent? Do I want
Exactly.
to eat or do,
Yep.
do I want to buy a bus pass? You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Do you
do I
go to
want
the?
to eat or do I pay my cell phone bill? Like all
Mhm.
this kind of stuff, right? I mean,
It's a juggling.
it's
It's a
just
juggling.
so crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like what governments are doing. They take out of one pot and they put into another one, and then
yeah,
well, look what we're doing, right?
yeah,
But meanwhile, they're not accomplishing anything. It's
yeah.
always the excuse I keep hearing in BC. One of my neighbors got into a rant and rave yesterday, last night, and says, "Well, oh well, we the government's broke. Apparently, government's broke." And I said, "That's what I keep hearing." He goes, "Why? A government broke? I've never heard of that. Have you heard that, Brent?" I go, "No, I've never heard of a government being broke." He goes, "Now that's news because I've never heard." I says, "I lived in Saskatchewan since I was a kid. I moved out to BC. I've been out here," he says, "for 28 years now. But, and I grew up," he says, "in Saskatchewan. I moved to Alberta and then I made my way out to BC." And I tell you, it's about prioritizing income and revenues for government. He says that his brother worked for in Parliament. He never got into it, right? But and I said, "Oh, well, okay." He says, "So I got to hear things, I got to know things." And I mean, I worked on a farm, and you want to talk about being broke? If I were to say to the investors, "Oh, I'm broke," what would happen? What would happen? They would go somewhere else, right? If you start
Hmm.
saying, "I'm broke," well, it's going to scare away investors, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
not
I
a good
know.
look.
And yeah, everything that David EB does is kind of the wrong move, and I can go on a rant in a little
Yeah.
bit maybe. But I just wanted to follow up again. I told you this is like the Marion Wales show. This is great. So we should have her picture on the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's got another good comment. She says, "By the way, your show has a huge following in my co-op. I have a group who listens to your show when I'm not on running errands on my wheelchair. So that's
Oh,
cool.
wow.
So it's like
Awesome.
we have a watch party. You know, you
Yay.
heard of the Bachelor. You know the
Yeah.
show Bachelor on
Yeah.
ABC where they have watch parties. So
Yeah.
it looks like we have a watch party in the co-op.
Cool. Yeah.
That's
Hey.
kind of cool.
Yeah, Marianne, yeah, watch party. Ask them what they think of
Yeah,
the mug.
maybe we can send them all mugs,
Yeah,
and
ask them what
everybody
they think
can
of the
do a
mug. See,
cheers. Everybody can
there's
do a
one
cheers.
side of the mug,
Yeah,
and then in the other side of the mug, it's got
yeah.
the other logo here. Yeah, and anyone watching live right now, I mean, send me your questions
But
regarding that.
that's cool. I didn't know we had watch parties. That's
That is
cool.
so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and
maybe that can be a thing. Everybody
yeah,
across Canada can start watch parties. You know.
yeah. And
So.
one of my neighbors watches the show all the time, all the time. And if he's missed it, he'll go back and rewatch it later on. And but he
Hmm.
says, I watch it every episode that you put on. He says, fantastic. He says, I love it when you guys go off on those rant and rave sessions. I said, oh yeah. Brent's rant and rave session. I said, yeah, you like those? And
Yeah.
he said, yeah, keep on doing them. I said, well, every so often. I don't want to make it as put them together too close to each other, but the Breaking with Brent, people love the Breaking with Brent segments when I do them.
Hmm.
The coffee time, more of a relaxed kind of atmosphere. The travel segments, they love the travel segments. I said, well,
Yeah, the travel type segments are great. I love putting them together. It's actually a lot of work. It's a
it
lot,
is.
and I know you take so much video. Like
Mm-hmm.
it feels like hundreds of hours worth of it. It's not
Yeah,
that much, but it feels like
yeah,
it. And so I'm sitting through and like sifting through all this stuff, and I cut it down all to like 15 or 20 minutes. But I mean they're always great.
yeah.
I love doing them.
Well, it's the
So
travel segments. I find
they're
I'm
really
very
fun.
passionate about it because
Yeah.
it's just showing such beautiful scenery and different things that pop up along travels, and so I just do any moment of capture of other
Hmm.
still photo or video because yeah, you can always go back and then look at them and see what highlights of that moment of time.
Yeah.
It's like in a time capsule, right? And it's
And
great.
and you know what? This is the best thing about YouTube is that once a video is up, it stays there. I mean, unless YouTube itself ends up blowing up, they
Yeah.
something takes out the whole YouTube server, whatever. It we've got videos up on the channel, on my channel, that are like 4 years old now,
Mhm.
and they're still being discovered and watched,
That's
and
awesome.
so like all of those travel segments, they're what they kind of call evergreen videos,
Hmm.
where they never kind of stale date. They're like, I would say, like a lot of our podcast episodes actually don't
Hmm.
really stale. I mean, we talk about a lot of current events, but I mean,
Yeah.
advocacy is advocacy, right?
Oh, for sure.
So most of the stuff that we talk about is kind of evergreen content that never really
Mhm.
goes out of date or out of style. And for sure your travel segments are like that, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm
So
just if there's any more comments online. I haven't seen any online, but I encourage anyone who has seen the posting for today's show, definitely tune in. We got lots of time on today's segment to take your comments and such suggestions. Like, what would you like
yeah.
to see? I mean, we're always looking at ways of growing the podcast, the show I call it.
I've got an idea, Brent. You don't even know this. You don't even know
Oh,
this, but
oh,
maybe we'll float this idea
oh.
on the show, and see if we get feedback about this afterwards.
I'll see if I can use an emoji one. Hmm.
No, but my idea for if we're around next year, my idea for next year is maybe
We'll be on next year.
maybe instead of doing a live show all the time, and this is going to be quite a departure, but um, we would record the show, and let's say we did a show for an hour or an hour and a half, and then what I would do is I would do the same thing I kind of do with your travel segments. I would edit the crap out of it, and like we've always said, like sometimes there's 3 or 4 shows embedded in one episode. So
Hmm.
what I would do is I would edit down for content. So maybe on one show that we do, we would just record the show ahead of time, and then I would edit it down and say there was like 3 kind of content things that we talk about. Then I
Hmm.
could basically take that hour show and then edit it down into 3 separate videos, and then post the 3 separate videos separately, like, and maybe they'll be 20-minute videos each, and then we
Hmm.
could try that, and then we could still have live comments afterwards, as you watch it back. I've yet sort of like we were talking about watch parties, where I'd be posting the video after the fact, so it wouldn't be, the video itself wouldn't be live,
Hmm.
but the interaction, you would still have the live interaction of the live chat afterwards, watching
Kind of like the premiere,
yeah, like a premiere video, exactly. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of toying with that idea, because
That-
then you're kind of more editing for content. So
or also another good option on that. I like that idea. Another good option too. Get viewers just their view on this on that topic. Having another show and talking about what did they like to see in those episodes that were put out that way.
yeah, I mean,
Maybe
we're always trying to like push the
things.
show and make changes. But I was just kind of wondering, like, uh, the vast majority of YouTube is kind of the smaller videos, and I thought,
Mhm.
it's in some ways it's a lot of more work, but at the
Mhm.
same time you might end up with more videos out of one recording. I could
Out of
maybe
one
get like 5 videos out of it, and then post them all individually for content, like based on, like, if we have one question, we'll post that video on the one question, then we'll go to the next question, have a whole separate video on the second kind of idea, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, it's just something
Yeah.
to banter about.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure about it yet, but this is kind of an idea that I was toying with.
Yeah, I mean, it's something like Czech News does that. A lot of the other shows that are on, are all pre-recorded,
Yeah.
and then they get released.
Well, yeah, like that's what Rob Shaw does. He pre-records
Yeah.
everything and they edit it down. So
Yeah, and it's on like maybe it's on for like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and
Mhm.
and then they'll say, well, stay tuned to the podcast if you
Yeah.
missed any of the content. That way, you're still getting the whole
You could
show.
still get
But
the whole show if you wanted
you're
it.
just
Yeah.
watching
Yeah.
it video wise.
Hmm.
You're only watching maybe 15, 20 minutes of it on video. So yeah,
Yeah.
there's ways of working
So
with it.
I'm not sure
Yeah,
how I would do that yet, but just something I was thinking about. Maybe
yeah,
make it a
yeah.
little bit more streamlined. Kind of like you said, like treating it like almost a travel vlog where it's really condensed down and really edited
Hmm.
like for the content. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we might have ideas where we can even blend in some travel segments into that show. Would that be
Yeah.
interesting, eh? Wouldn't that?
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go. Yeah.
yeah. Some people
I'm
like,
in my living room and now I'm not. I'm back in my living room and now I'm not.
yeah. Now we're traveling away, and we're traveling, and then as you see this, we're broadcasting. Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
a lot of different ideas, everybody. But throw your comments to us.
Mm.
Give us your suggestions. What
Well,
are
you know
you?
what, Brent? I have a question.
Sure.
Talking about Turkey and how none of us on social assistance, income assistance, PWD, ODSP, none of
Hmm.
us can afford a turkey dinner this year.
Hmm.
But let's splurge in our minds anyway, and let's talk about dessert. What's your favorite dessert? If you had
My
to
favorite
if you had
dessert.
to pick one, what's your favorite dessert, Brent? If you had to
Well,
splurge.
for me, I like a good lemon meringue pie.
You're kidding.
No, I'm
You're
not.
oh.
That's my
Are
ultimate
are
favorite.
we twins? Like
No,
seriously?
that's my ultimate favorite.
Oh,
Yeah,
Brent.
and
Like
why
we're
I
this.
say that is because
Oh,
I worked at an ABC family restaurant
oh,
many decades ago, and they knew my favorite pie was that. And you know what? They made me a lemon meringue pie, and it was like the meringue the actual meringue was so high.
oh
Like, it
yeah.
was really high, and they gave it to me. I'm like, wow! It was at least they made it was not even what they would normally sell it for, but they made it as a funny joke to me. And they I don't know how they managed to get this meringue so high up in the air, but they made it 2 feet, two
Oh
feet
wow.
up on top of the pie, and they brought it to me and they said, "There you go." And you know what was so special about it all? It was on my birthday.
Oh,
It was on my
wow.
birthday, and they said happy birthday, and all the employees came and they sung a happy birthday to me. I was just emotional, like, and I just had tears coming, like, just automatically coming down. And I was like, what? They're like, well, no, there's nothing to be upset about, Brent. No, I said, I'm not crying of being upset. I'm crying of emotion. I was like so happy that they went out and they actually made me a meringue pie. They said, well, this one here is too big for you to take home, so we made another one for you. This one you can
Oh
take.
wow.
Oh wow! And it was so beautiful pie. And I mean, yes, like real lemon, like they made
I'm
right.
shocked. I'm shocked he said lemon meringue because I was gonna say, like my mom makes a really good lemon meringue pie too,
Oh,
but I my mother-in-law, like her lemon. I don't know what she does, but
mm,
her lemon meringue pie is like, it's the bomb. I mean, I don't know how you
mm,
can make it any better. Like
mm,
every time she makes the pie, which is a lot, I
mhm,
go over there for lunch all the time. Like every Sunday we go to church. I go to church with her, and then we
yeah,
go and have coffee and lunch. And quite often she'll make a lemon meringue pie, and I'm like, is it my birthday? Like
yeah,
it's just
yeah,
that's what it feels like every time she brings up this pie. I'm like, is it my birthday? Wow. Yeah,
yeah.
it's
Yeah,
great. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And like sometimes we'll go and visit Sonia's parents, and her mom makes lemon squares. She'll make
Yeah.
lemon squares,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, yum. And Sonia's like, well, is there anything for dessert? Like, no. Her mom goes, no, there's nothing for dessert. Nothing for dessert? No. She said, sometimes in life you just have to go without. Oh,
Oh
okay. And
wow.
I said, well, I'm used to that. I grew up, sometimes there was no dessert.
Yeah.
And her mom looks at me, says like, shh, what? And I saw you was turned out her back to your mom goes, and he goes, shh. She opens up the fridge and then she says, oh. And she goes, what? What are you looking at? And she goes, well, nothing, nothing to see here. And she brings out these lemon squares. and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh wow. And so yeah, it's a
Yeah,
nice.
and the other thing too is like as a kid, I used to like my favorite birthday cake was angel food cake with the lemon with
Oh
the
yeah,
lemon pudding or whatever you
well then
call it
putting it
in the
in the middle,
middle.
like
My
the
mom
mayo.
would make it all the
Yeah,
time. Put the lemon pudding
yeah.
in the middle with
Hmm.
and like ice it with the whipped cream on the top of the cake, and it was like that is that was my favorite birthday cake of all time because
Oh yeah,
it had the lemon in the middle of the cake too. Yeah. So
yeah,
I love anything lemon. I love it. Yeah.
yeah. I like the whipping cream on the top. I don't like
Yeah.
the ice so much on the
No,
top.
the lemon. It has to be the whipping cream for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my mom made it. My mom is so creative. When I was a kid, it's at times were really tough for her, but she did the best, but she could. But there was times where she did make dessert, and she made this one year, and she made like a lemon icing, or like a not a lemon icing, but like a foam. It was like a really foamy stuff.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
I think I've seen that before. Yeah.
yeah, and she put
Yeah.
it there, and she put a lemon filling inside, and it was
Yeah.
oh
Wow.
my gosh, it was yeah, just
Yeah.
like a lemon pie, but it was a lemon cake.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Marion is talking about Pierre Polyev and
Oh
saying,
yeah.
why don't you have him on the show? And I was typing her back, and
Oh,
I was saying,
right.
we've asked him to come on a few times. I'm going to keep asking him because again, like I think before the election, he put out a video, and I know when you put out a video, like a lot of it's just PR, like you want to put
Oh
out videos to look good and stuff.
yeah.
But there was a one particular video that I don't believe that he was doing it to score points. He just put it out there to put it out there. But he was talking about, was it his daughter? Was it a daughter or a son? I forget now if it was his son. But he was saying one of his children has a disability,
I see.
and he said they were nonverbal.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so and some people I know, some people in the comments I was watching, people said, "Well, he's just doing that to score points and blah blah blah," and that's fair enough to think that, but
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I would be interested just to have him on just to talk about what he thinks about
Mm-hmm.
disability policy
Mm-hmm.
in the provinces, like how the provinces are dropping the ball, and what he would do if he was
Yeah.
the leader of the country, what he would do differently to kind of shepherd and change and steward, or whatever the word you want to use, how he would steward different policy on a national level, on a Canadian level, all
Mm-hmm.
across Canada, to ensure that you have this kind of equity and
Absolutely.
I think that always the term equity is over you. I mean you have the DEI is the diversity, equity, inclusion, but I mean sometimes when you have that is like does that really mean equity? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
and again, I people can accuse me of getting too religious here, but when you talk about equity, it's like God is the one that give us human equity, or what is it? What do you want to call it? Like the human condition to strive
Mm.
for equality and equity that
Mm-hmm.
comes from within. That's something that is written on our hearts as
Mm-hmm.
human beings. It's written on all of our hearts to want that, to strive for that, because God put it there in our hearts. He wrote it in our hearts. So the idea that we can use DEI policy to just arbitrarily decide, okay, this is equity and this isn't. This is equity. Like I don't want to really depend on like some flawed government policy, because I mean, a perfect example of that is the Canada Disability Benefit, isn't it? I mean,
Exactly.
that right there was supposed to be this great equalization thing, and look
Mm-hmm.
what a mess it is, because it's not it wasn't written in the spirit of DEI. It was written in the spirit of how to pervert equity, really. Like
Well, it also comes down.
there's so much policy now that is perverting equity, and
Yeah.
so the equity is not really equity anymore. It's just like, are you kidding
Well,
me? You know, like
but
they're
I
getting it
mean,
all wrong.
yeah, it's like one of the talk about the different like wording and stuff. Like one of the ones that stand out for me is about respect and dignity. Um, when politicians respect their citizens, then they're going to get results in return, right? That people are now going to respect them because now they give
Mm-hmm.
them dignity of. I mean, you give people the resources, you give them the income, the resources, and equality. You give them. I mean, people might say, "Well, hey, careful with that word, Brent." Well,
Mm-hmm.
equality meaning like equal out the money here, like equal it out so that don't pin people disabled against disabled. Have market rent. Oh, have subsidized housing.
Yeah.
Now, people say, "Well, I don't have enough money." Well, why? Are they paying too much money out in market rent, or are
It's
they?
like it's like which pink unicorn do you want? Door number one, door number three, door
Well,
number, you know.
exactly. And I mean, and that's why like it should be based on the individual,
Yeah.
no more than 30%, because CMHC, I mean, and I don't believe everything that CMHC says anyway,
Mm-hmm.
but it was always a formula once upon a time. Like 30% of your income should not, no more than 30%. In some cases, I'm hearing even 20%. I don't know about
Yeah.
20%. No, I don't know. But even like 30%, okay, I mean, fine. But it should be based on the individual
Yeah.
household, not
Yeah.
household, individual, and take away all the barriers, all the
Yeah.
conditions. Well, you have somebody else in your life. I mean, they need a place to stay. Well, get rid of that word shelter because once you have that subsidized housing, that shelter word, it means nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't even need to be there. So when I say about equality and dignity, show people like dignity, give them the respect, give them the income that they need to thrive. Because when you give the money, it goes back into the economy. It helps
Well,
not
and
just
that's
a person,
and
but
sorry that
everybody.
and that again, you hit the nail on the head there, Brent. That's why I interrupted you again
Yeah,
because I mean you always talk about putting the money back in the economy, and
yeah.
that's the one thing that the government always seems to forget. It's like,
Hmm.
well, we're giving you all this free money, and you're just gonna blow it, like it's gonna just disappear and evaporate. But the fact of the matter is, we're putting it right back into the local economy.
Yeah, and
So
in a lot of cases, it's
yeah,
going to their corporate landlord. Now, if people say, well, and I think a lot of people will echo this across the country. A lot of people are struggling. There are high mortgage costs, high rent costs. Well, if your money, 90% in some cases, 100% in some cases, it's going to rent. And then they have to rely on food banks. Well, that's a huge problem, red flag right there. If
mm-hmm.
that is the problem, well, then correct the problem. Lower down property taxes,
Mm-hmm.
work with the cities, work with the developers, work with a condition where is your operating cost too high? Is your materials too expensive? Lower down the cost somewhere, and then you're going to make it good for your tenants to be in a great place because now they're going to respect your property. They're not going to, in some cases, some people unfortunately will damage the property. I don't know why. Maybe they get mad because they're paying too much money in rent. We had some people living in where we live and they got kicked out a couple of years ago. They were causing problems, right? They were mad because they were paying too much in rent. Okay, so the underlying problem, if they're paying too much in rent, who are they taking it out on? Don't take it out on your property management. Look where the problem is actually stemming from, right? Is it that you're told that, yeah, you have to pay more in market rent? Well, so is your income's not high enough? Okay, why is your income not high enough? And again, of course, that can stem to 30% of your income, or some people say a basic income or a GLBI. Yeah, I mean, that's a whole different discussion altogether.
Yeah.
But nobody should be paying more than what they can afford to be paying for rent. I mean, I'm not an expert when it comes to the housing stuff. I'd love, like, again, these are comments out to our listeners. If you are a real estate agent or somebody that knows a lot about housing, the housing sector, I'd love to have you on the show.
Yeah,
Oh, well,
yeah,
most definitely.
like a
I'd love.
Bob Rennie or something like that. Yeah,
Oh, absolutely. Like
yeah,
someone that would love to come on and talk about why that people are paying more than 30% of their income. I mean, I've had discussions with my corporate management where I live, and they're disgusted.
yeah,
Government, they're disgusted that you guys are going 4 years with no
yeah.
increase. 2 years, I mean, for shelter. Now that shelter, there's a there's a call now for one of our advocates, and is calling to have the word shelter removed altogether
Yeah.
because market rent is way too high. If you have a safe place that you can go and crash, you can go and stay in someone's place, and that's a safe environment for you to be in.
Mm-hmm.
And you have, I mean, maybe not a fixed address, like a permanent address, but you have somewhere where you can stay and you can pay, as you know, the PWD rates across Canada have not increased. They haven't kept up with the cost of living. They haven't even kept up with in anything.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone says, "Well, I can pay you $400 or $300, $400.
Yeah.
Can I just stay here?" Sure. You have access to laundry. You have
Yeah.
access to the refrigerator, freezer. Maybe they have a separate fridge that you can store your stuff in. I mean, hey,
Yeah.
put a lock on it. I mean, whatever. I mean, that's not uncommon. I mean, I lived in a basement suite many decades ago, and there was the landlord would have a lock, and it would actually have a key for another fridge, and it would
Mm-hmm.
say, "Here, you can have this is your lock." I put a lock and key on there. This is your fridge. So, I mean, I had access to laundry. I mean, sure, shared laundry every so many days,
Yeah.
but it gave you that freedom of saying, well, your stuff is now secure. Like
Yeah.
you're not going to worry about it getting ripped off. I'm not saying it would, but again, I think getting rid of the word shelter would help in so many ways. We need to modernize our systems. They are so outdated.
Yeah.
Nobody should be living in legislated
They're
poverty.
very punishing. They're very punishing.
Oh yeah, exactly. And then the
Yeah.
politicians, all I hear is, well, there's more to do. There's more to
Yeah.
do. We've raised the rates 5 times,
Yeah.
or some kind of riddle like a
Economic headwinds.
Oh,
Economic
economic
headwinds. I
headwinds.
love
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I'm loving to hate that now, Brent.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Every time I
blame-
hear that word now, or the phrase,
Me too.
that's my favorite word to hate now.
Oh
Economic
yeah.
headwinds.
I know. I've never heard of that phrase
Yeah.
before, and I've heard it recently, and it's just
Yeah.
an excuse, right?
Oh yeah.
I remember different ministers in BC over time. Oh, there's more to do. Oh, when the economic situation materializes. Yeah, no, we hear you. Yeah, let's kick the can down the road. Well, they didn't say that. I'm saying kick the can down the road because that's just excuses, right?
Yeah.
Economic headwinds. Oh, we're blaming it on somebody else. Well,
Yeah.
let's take responsibility.
Yeah.
Why did you have so many administration staff in the first place? Why hire so many and now go, oh yeah, now we need to now get rid of them all? Well, why do it in the first place?
Yeah, I know.
It's like promising $1,000. Hey,
It sounds like we're going to be going down
but we're
a
not
David
gonna
Eby
go down the whole-
podcast
Yeah.
now. But I wanted to circle back briefly to Pierre Polyev because Marion Wales again. She says that Pierre Polyev has a daughter with autism.
Okay.
So it's his daughter with autism that's non-communicative. And then we have a comment from Canada the Great.
Hello.
Canada the Great says most rentals are owned by conglomerates that must pay out to shareholders, and that's true.
That is very true. And I talked to one of our corporate management, and they said that they're shareholders, they're stakeholders. Then, of course, the management group that managed the building. Then also the owner, right? So the person described to me is like a pie. So each area, each person, or each group get to share, and the owner's still going to get a nice good chunk, but the rest also goes down to all the shareholders, the stakeholders. You're right, sir. You're right to that our viewer there. Again, the question is, well, what we need to get our rent paid. So as long as you can pay your rent, you can stay. And I guess the question is, why is the government not keeping up with that? I mean, you get a rent increase, your rent should automatically go up. I mean, I don't agree with it just being tied to inflation, because if it's just tied to inflation, well, then if your rent is really high, that inflation, I mean, you're going to be going to take care of some of your rent increase. What about your cost of living, right?
Yeah.
When you have a disability, your costs are already high.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you right now, like, eventually I'm going to have to get a new pair of glasses again, right? and
And
different
some of it's covered,
varieties.
and some of it's not. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's only
Yeah.
tiny little portions covered
Yeah.
now based on your prescription.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's places that sell cheap pair of frames,
Yeah.
but your prescription, your lenses have to fit into those frames.
Yeah.
So there's a little catch 22 on that one. Yeah, I found that one out the hard way. Yeah, so the cost is like well over $500, right? So for one pair, I need to get two pairs.
Yeah.
One for reading and one for just for distance. And yeah.
Yeah.
But it comes down to again, it's just the cost of living. Unexpected expenses that come up. Your coffee machine breaks down, like ours just broke down recently. And
Well, I told you, Brent, you get one of those French press things. They work pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually just had a coffee machine gifted to us recently. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Actually, it was actually to Sonia, not myself.
Oh, okay.
A lovely lady came forward and said,
Sonia's got a fan club.
she's got a fan club going there. I'm like, a coffee machine coming. Yeah, ours, I don't know. It was, I brewed it early in the morning, and she was the day that we had our show.
Yeah.
And our last show. And I brewed it in the morning, and, I had the cup, like, and yeah, I had to go. And I was like, okay. And I made a cup of coffee in the afternoon, and, sometimes I'll have a cup in the afternoon. And so I poured the water in, I got the grounds all ready, and I was watching something on TV, and Sonia's like, I don't hear the coffee machine. I said, oh, it's probably brewing quietly. I didn't even smell the coffee. I'm like, what's going on here? Sonia walked in the kitchen, and nope, it's not brewing. I thought, what do you mean? So I lifted the lid, coffee ground still sitting there, water still sitting in the reservoir.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, okay, well, maybe there's a problem with the outlet. I don't know. So I unplugged it, plugged it into the same outlet on the other second outlet on it. Nope. I went around the whole place and plugged it into a different outlet. No, it wouldn't go on. So there was obviously a mechanism inside. It just conked out, and that was it, I guess. And yeah, our microwave is starting to show signs. It's starting to, it's still heating up, but it should be heating up a lot more. So I think the elements starting to go on it slowly. So knock on wood, I'm hoping that it doesn't break down, because no extra money to replace it. So yeah, yeah. Anyway, yeah, I mean, it's the comments coming in are great comments.
I'm trying to bring up a video, Brent, as we're kind of in turkey time right now, because we're getting to the end of, we're actually at the end of the hour, and I kind of wanted to stick to the hour. But for turkey time, I thought I would try to play a video. I was going to make you look for it, but I'm going to try to make this work. So maybe just bear with me here. And I'm just going to look for the video and see if I can get it working. Is it here? Oh, there we go. Now, I don't know. Do you have the TV on, Brent?
Yeah, I do.
So can you see that picture of EB there right now on the screen?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just gonna play this this video, and again we're in turkey time, and
Okay.
we could have devoted the whole show to just this, but I just wanted to end on this, and then we're just gonna spend only 2 minutes on this. But
Sure.
I just wanted to show how ridiculous David AB looks. I mean, it really is just ridiculous how stupid he looks on this whole thing. He comes across like a spoiled brat.
Oh.
He's talking about the Alberta premier and saying she's being almost saying, oh, she's being mean to me, Daniel Smith is being mean to me, mommy, and then you can hear it at the end of his clip. You can hear the anger in his voice, and it's almost like he's holding back tears. He's so angry, it's almost like he's about to cry.
Yeah.
I really want
I
people.
that.
I really want people to pay attention to right at the end of right at the end of this video, his voice cracks like he's about to cry. He's so upset. And in the midst of a tantrum. And again, this is a provincial premier that's having a little mini tantrum because Daniel Smith is being a bully in David Eby's eyes. Daniel Smith is being a bully. Anyway, I'm just gonna play the clip.
Sure.
And hopefully it's loud enough. We'll see. Hopefully people can hear it.
Premier Eby, I'm sure you've seen at this point that...
Actually, I don't think it's loud enough yet. 1 second. I'm just going to boost it up a little bit. Give me a second. I'll try this again.
Technical things, everyone.
I'm sure you've seen at this point.
Well, I've got the... I'm not sure if you can hear the sound or not. Maybe not. Can we get a comment saying if people can hear that or not?
What do you say to the concern?
Maybe I'll go back to, hold on. Alt tab. I just want to check if people can hear that. Is there any comments from anybody who can hear that? I'm not really sure. Maybe it's one of those ones that you'd have to share, Brent, because sometimes I'm not sure if the audio is coming through on my end or not. I'm waiting to see if maybe I'll just play a little bit more. I'll try to play it a bit more, and if people can't hear it, then we'll cue it up for the next show.
The Premier
Sure.
has raised about your opposition to a potential pipeline to BC's coast being un-Canadian.
I'll see if I can actually hear it.
I think the big
in a
challenge
second.
here, and the challenge
I can hear it, but it's very quiet, so I don't know if it's coming across.
British Columbia
well
is
on there or
poised to
not.
lead Canada into the new economy that we're all understanding is so crucial to create.
Can people
one
hear
which
that?
is less dependent on the United States, one in which we're accessing world markets, one in which we're standing on our own 2 feet.
I'm
as a
not sure if
country.
people
British
can.
Columbia is advancing
So
more
we
than
might have to
$40
play this
billion
another
worth of
time.
Projects, real projects with proponents, with financing that are reaching final investment decisions.
Yeah, you can hear 'em.
Employ people,
Can you hear?
not just in every corner of British Columbia, but
Yeah.
employ
Is it
Canadians
loud enough?
from across Canada. 50,000
I'm not sure if people can.
helped to build
So
Energy Canada.
we might have to play this another.
They came from every corner of this country. And the net benefit of that export project,
Can you hear
the
it?
largest private sector investment in Canadian history,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, is it loud enough?
delivered by our government. The net
I'm
benefit
not
of
sure
that
if people
flows
can.
to all Canadians and
So
British
we
Columbia.
might have to play this
So
another.
that's our work. And a significant piece of the BC economy, a significant aspect of the social license we have to build major projects like that, and projects that are coming.
It's
is
low,
the
but
support of
people
communities
can
up
still
and down
hear
our
it.
amazing coast here in British Columbia.
Yeah.
And so if you want to put that goodwill at risk, if you want to threaten these projects and say, we know that your goodwill and your support is dependent on a tanker ban, that the fishing grounds.
So he's
that you
talking about the
count
tanker
on,
ban.
the tourism you count on, the lifestyle that you enjoy.
That's the other thing is that
Remember,
that
it's
the
protected by the
Americans
tanker ban. If we wanna say,
can
we're
bring
gonna
their
get rid of that
oil
tanker ban,
tankers
and we're gonna go after
from
it,
Alaska
life,
all
let's at least
down
make
to the
sure that the
BC
conversation's about a real
coastline.
project.
That's fine for the
right
Americans
now,
to do that, but
the province of BC,
if Alberta wants to
Premier
do
BC
that, it's like a no
is
go.
not a
Like
threat.
don't do that.
The pipeline project.
They have $1 trillion worth
There is no
of
pipeline
oil.
project.
$1 trillion worth of oil, and David
is
Eby
a,
saying, we don't want your oil.
Crown Corporation,
We don't want $1 trillion.
$14 million.
Yeah, your oil is not good. We don't want that. No.
That project is going forward is with tens of billions of dollars of public money.
But
Yeah.
again, I think we'll play this again on the next podcast, and I'll make sure that the
Multi-billion-dollar,
audio is good.
federally
But
funded, Alberta project,
if you just
then
look at
where
his,
is the
even just to look at his
multi-billion-dollar federally
mannerisms,
funded project in
and
British
especially at
Bottom
the end,
line.
like
That is the
you can
question
hear
I'm
his
asking.
voice.
And what is the
It does
opportunity
crack,
cost
like he's almost
of
about
a
to cry.
multi-billion-dollar tax
And
It just
I'm thinking-
looks
I'm
like
thinking to
he's
myself, like,
frustrated. Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, like, John Horgan or any premier in the history of Canada has never
You show those
come
dreamers
across this way like a
the
spoiled brat
opportunity
that
to
they're
spend
about to
tens of
cry,
millions of federal
like
tax dollars,
Daniel Smith
and what
kick
can they
sand in my
deliver?
face,
Give everybody
mummy.
a fair shot.
You know, that
It's
kind
not
of
the
thing.
Danielle Smith
Yeah.
show. It's the
Yeah.
Canadian team.
Oh, gosh.
And we all deserve
Right here.
the same opportunity for the same federal funding for our projects
Oh,
as she
here we
does
are.
for hers. That's not un-Canadian. That is fair, and there is nothing more Canadian than fairness. That is a core national value.
You know, that kind of thing.
That right there, it's almost about to cry there, see?
Right
Almost
there.
about to cry there. Yeah, but anyway, so maybe that's a video that we can go revisit again on our next podcast with Cheryl. I'll make sure I get the audio values right, or maybe it's not something that you can play back on your phone, because I think the audio is better on your phone. But anyway, we'll play with it. But I just wanted to play it to really, even just looking at his mannerisms, you can see like at the start of it, he's just sitting there, he's just standing there, like he's just like his eyes are kind of downcast, like he feels like it's like his like a teacher just told him to go stand in the corner, you've been bad or something. He's like kind of like he's talking, but he's like got his eyes down, kind of downcast, and it's like he's almost has an embarrassed like look on his face, like, you know. And it's just like, mommy, help me. Yeah.
But what I keep hearing is there's, private investors or there's public investors, and I think they both agree that private investors is the best way to go, right? Because wasting public dollars, I mean, it's going to cost a lot. And from what I hear is, by the time that they get it going, so they say it's $15 billion. By the time all said and done, it could be up to like 25 to $30 billion to build that. And I kind of wonder is that what investors are going to be there to build that kind of pipeline. I mean, if it's a private investor, I mean, public money. I mean, yeah, people don't want their money to be thrown all out there. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, I agree with you there, and
Yeah.
I think everybody agrees with you there. But and maybe Daniel Smith is just kind of selling selling something, but she is said on public record, whether this is true or not, she is said on public record that she knows that there's not going to be public appetite for public money, so she is trying to secure it so that it's a fully privatized thing, like it's private money, not public money, it's private money. Now whether that is a doable thing or not, I just think it's funny in a not so funny way.
Yeah.
How you have David be standing up there like a spoiled child and saying, "Mummy, Daniel Smith is being mean to me."
I love it.
Anyway, so that's a good sign. We can punch out now, Brent.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in to PWD Allies podcast today. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend. Just know that reach out, like people who are around you, reach out to say hi. If you're alone and you're on social media, reach out to people that you're following. If you have no one to talk to, some people don't have family anymore, but just know that we're here for you to reach out in the comments section. Reach out and say hi. And if you can reach out to other people, just know that there are people that care. And hey, gobble gobble. Pink unicorns flying everywhere. Just wing it. Wing the turkey. Wing the pink unicorns. I like to have lots of fun.
And again, we know that a lot of people can't afford turkey, and that,
oh, absolutely.
So I mean, just make the best out of it, what you can.
I know we can't. But here's a quick question. Right before we end the show, so we did the viewers comments today. Would you like to see another viewers comment in the very near future? If you would,
let us know.
We'd be more than happy to integrate that in from time to time.
Would you like to see another Marion Wales show?
Another Marion Wales show?
Another Marion Wales show.
Well, that
brought to you by
PWD Allies podcast. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week, everyone. Take care.
Cheers.